Okay. Hi, everybody. Tonight, we're going to talk about building your network through non-plexus or generic value-based groups on Facebook specifically. So I'll explain what these are and why you might want to start one of these and how it can fit into your business, helping you generate more prospects and grow your warm market on Facebook and get people seeing your Facebook feed and seeing your posts. So what are these groups? So these groups, these generic value-based groups, are going to be a group or a community that you start that is ideally formed around a passion of yours or an interest of yours that you have that is not necessarily tied to Plexus in any way whatsoever. And it's important to understand that this is not a group where you're going to be forming as like a business page where you're going to be talking to prospects about Plexus or about the products or the opportunity. You're really not talking about any of that here. It's a generic group. And the people joining this group are not joining for the purpose of learning more about Plexus. They're not joining for the purpose of learning more about our products or our business. They're joining specifically because they have a shared common interest with you and where they're looking to, grow or get training, learn something, or grow, have support around a certain goal or along a certain, challenge or an accomplishment, something like that. Just an area of their life where they're looking to share some passion or something like that with someone who might have something similar with them. And they're craving community. So we all know that we're more successful at making changes in our life or meeting our goals when we're doing it together with other people. And us all in this business know that community is a huge part of this. It's what keeps people going. People might join Plexus at least for the products or the business, but it's really the people that keep us around through the hard times because we know how impactful those relationships can really be. So creating a safe space for people to form some commonalities and some unity around a common goal or a common accomplishment or a common passion is a huge thing to do to create some relationship forming opportunities for yourself. So why would you want to run a group like this? Well, if you do have a passion for something that doesn't have anything to do with Plexus and you feel really compelled and you want to create a community around this specific area and you understand the importance and opportunity of growing your network, well, you can create a community of these supported, like-minded individuals where you are pouring into them in some way or leading them along a challenge or teaching them about something or sharing your passion with them. And it really makes it easy for you to execute content when it's something that you're passionate about or something you know a lot about or something you're motivated to share with people. And also this passion will come across in the way you communicate. Your excitement will come across in the way you communicate. If it's a goal or a challenge that you're putting forth and it's something you wanted to accomplish and now you're inviting all these people to come with you, you will be so much more passionate and motivated and share that excitement with everybody else. And this is going to attract people to you because it's really hard to deny somebody with genuine enthusiasm and genuine inspiration and genuine passion behind a certain topic or a certain goal or a certain, lesson learned or area of life. So we all know that we should be forming a personal brand on social media that people will come to know, that encompasses, 3 to 5 things that we post about most often. So our audience really gets to know us and love us and trust us and knows what we're all about so that they can come to expect the types of things that we might throw out there. And keep in mind that your brand might not be for everyone. You don't need to have every single person in your corner. You don't need to have every single person sharing the same passions as you, and that's okay. So we need to be okay with kind of picking your few things that are important to you and running with those. And if one of those happens to be something that's outside of the health and wellness field, or if it's a spin off of Plexus that, maybe it's not the supplementation piece, maybe you're really into like working out, maybe you're really into cooking healthy meals, maybe you're into, meditation, maybe you're into whatever it is. It doesn't have to be in health and wellness. I mean, it can be anything. It can be makeup. It can be, style, not my forte at all, but it can be anything at all. So whatever your kind of side passion, maybe it's dogs, maybe it's horses, maybe whatever it is, you're right. It can be anything, you guys, and you can form a community of people who have shared interests, and you're going to be inviting them into a place where everyone is maybe working towards something specific, or you could even make groups where everyone's pitching in content. You're having people post content in there, and you're inviting them to post in different ways on this group. So the point is, you create a Facebook group for no other purpose than to bring people together to share information, learn, have fun, grow, work towards a goal, and work together in this area that's around a passion that you might have. And you maybe, like I said earlier, your passion could be cooking, for example. Not really anything directly to do with Plexus, unless it's like, how to have your supplements fit into that. But the point of these groups are not about the supplementation. And maybe you have a weekly healthy meal prep challenge where you're going to give people your recipes or something, and you want to show them how you meal prep, and you want to invite them along and share grocery lists and meal plans and cooking tips or whatever. And you have put out this challenge to them, like, hey, why don't you eat a home cooked meal with your family, sit down for dinner 3 nights out of this week, or whatever. Like, that's your challenge. Let's all try and do it. Here's some recipes. Here's a grocery list. Ready, go. Right. Which that's a great thing for people to come together and then have them post photos, about them doing it, or how do they like the recipes, or whatever. So these can be ways that you can just find a passion that's outside of our business and create a group that surrounds it, and come up with some content. You have to come up with content, but if you're something you're passionate about, you're probably thinking about content like that all the time. It should be easy for you to create content around this area, and it can be something that you can share with people, or a road that you can lead people down if it's a certain weight loss goal you're working towards. Or we've seen a lot of those drinking water challenges lately. That's been wonderful for people, and stuff like that. Something simple that you can invite people along with and be the motivation for them, be the cheerleader for them, be the unifying factor, be the community creator, be the facilitator, because they will start to have trust in you and faith in you and belief in you, because you're leading them to a more positive place in their life as well. So you want to come up with something that's going to unify a community that everyone can kind of contribute to and interact with as well. You don't want to be the only one generating all of the comments and things all the time. So and I mean, obviously you'll be creating the content, but you want people to have something that they can interact with as well. So turning this into a prospect generator is first coming up with what the passion is and making the group around it. And then is there some type of challenge or something that people can interact with that can be something to unite them either daily or weekly, that you can get them interacting with the page. So if it's a goal that they're trying to meet, that daily they need to post something that they did, or weekly they need to post something that they did, or they need to post a picture of something, or give feedback on something that you gave them, if it's information or content or a challenge in some way. Like I said, maybe it's the meal prepping thing, or maybe you're picking a group of people and you're running a whole 30 together for a month, and you're going to give them recipes and meal plans or something, I don't know, that you want to do with your own family, and grocery lists and something. Maybe it's, like I said, eating healthy dinners at home with your family, whatever. That's just a cooking example. But if it's something else, you want everyone working towards a common goal or sharing a common passion, and something that's going to spark some interaction and some unifying goals in that, and achievement at the end of the month. You want to, or the end of the week, or whatever it is, end of the 90 days, whatever this goal or whatever this group's going to be. You want to decide what you want the end result to be, so that people know and have clarity around what this group is for, and who you're inviting to it, and why they're there, and the path that you're leading them down, so that you can have a framework for them about what the content's going to be about, so they know that you are credible and you are trustworthy, and you are taking them down this path to, like I said earlier, a more positive place in their life, a happier place, whatever that means for them, and that passion that's surrounding an area of interest for you. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to make a connection with new people that are completely outside of Plexus, and probably completely outside of your existing network. And you're going to form a community where they probably would have never joined that had you not created this group. Or you probably would have never had them as a part of your network had you not created this group. Those are the people you're trying to reach, because those relationships are ones you're going to foster pretty much out of the blue. They're going to be like cold market people usually. Some of them will be warm market people, but But, we'll talk to Kelly and Noah a little bit more about how they marketed their events and how they had people join them. But you are going to be pouring into these relationships in ways that are not related to the Plexus business, but they're going to lead you later into opportunities to prospect these people down the road behind the scenes. You're not going to be prospecting them in the group. It'll be through private messaging down the road, down the line, when you form these relationships more and they have, that foundational relationship and trust and belief in you because they've been added to this group. They've seen how you lead. They've seen how you communicate. They've seen your passion. They've seen your excitement for making yourself and others better people and, learning and growing and all of that. So a lot of these people that are going to be coming to these new communities that you're going to create are going to translate to new customers or ambassadors down the line because they're going to start believing in you and they're going to want to join you as you stay on brand and you help them see the value in the group that you're offering. So I have some questions for Kelly and Noelle about a group or a few groups. You've done it a couple times, right? I think 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Because I haven't run one. I have seen a couple people do them and I've kind of been watching and kind of deciding what type of group I would want to run. But they've run a perfect example of this group and seen a great return on their marketing of the group and growing their network. I remember Noelle telling me how many people, I think a while ago, joined it. It was great. I'll let her tell you, but I was like, holy cow, these are people you would have never met. They would have never been in your network at all. So I want to run through these questions for them and hopefully they can kind of shed some light on how successful these groups can be and how simple you can really run them and how you can kind of prep them beforehand and have a lot of interaction and really grow in relationships with people down the road. So either one of you can chime in. I will, I guess, let you unmute yourself when you're ready to talk. But so when you first created a generic group like this with a community challenge, tell us what was the challenge and why did you guys choose to go with that?
I'll go first.
Okay.
My first group wasn't a challenge group.
Okay.
Just as a side note, it was an autism group. So it's parenting, autism and SP, sensory processing disorder, boys that are born between 2011 and 2013. So I wanted it to be specific to my son. So we'd all go through this together. And that group has 241 members. So I've been doing that one for a year. And that's not challenge-based. It's just people post in it and we support each other in that journey. So that's one. Awesome. And then my second one was last February. Like just this year, February, and it was a gratitude challenge for 60 days. That was my first one.
I love that. I love that. And first of all, the autism group, totally unifying, right? People who are looking for a place, a safe space to communicate and interact with one another around a shared interest. So not challenge-based, but huge return on how many people have joined that group, right? And then the gratitude challenge puts everyone's heart and soul and mind and emotions in a positive place. So you're naturally helping people become better people and be put in a better mindset. So solid choices for, groups, just the impact that they can have. I know that Noelle had told me before about how you were marketing this group or advertising this group to get people added to it. And Noelle, you can kind of chime in with what your groups that you've done before, because I know you have done like workout-based ones before.
Yeah.
And so what are they? And then how did you kind of tell people about them and get people to join them? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah. So I watched the video. I think it got put on Maui Bound Rockstars or whatever the Christine's group was last year. And I just pretty much copied exactly what the Diamond had suggested. She said she created a 60-day fitness, I think it was a squat challenge. And so I said, okay, I can do that. I know how to do squats properly. I know how to do planks properly. So I did a squat and plank challenge for 60 days. And I basically just created a separate group. And then I put a post up on my local Camrose Mommies, which is the town we live in. And I put another post up on, we live in like the biggest next town is called Edmonton. It's like a suburb of Edmonton. So it probably has, I don't know, 20,000 people that I knew. And I hate to say this, but I knew was like a ritzier area of town. So I knew the type of moms that were like coming out of there. I didn't ask to put a post up the first time. I put the post up just saying, who wants to join me for a squat and plank challenge? Comment below and I'll get you added to the group. So I did that, and both of those posts didn't get taken away, which was really surprising, because that's pretty common. So I put that up. I guess I would, maybe I'm answering another question here, but I would say if you're going to put a post in any kind of group, make sure you check the pinned post at the top and find the administrator and just send a quick message saying, hey, I'm running this kind of challenge. I think it would fit great in this type of group. I really want to connect with these types of people. Is that okay? Typically they'll say, yeah. But if you're running your business, then no, you can't advertise, right? So then you just assure them, yeah, I do work for a network marketing company, but I promise you this is just about this. I'm just wanting to connect with like-minded people, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of how you get around that. So for that first challenge group, that I did, there were 500 people added to the group, which was amazing.
That is
and some of those
500 people, yeah. Like holy cow.
A good chunk of those were like, not a good chunk, probably like 50 of those were Plexus people or friends I had already had, and then the rest were from those other two posts that I did. And it was a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie, to get those. What I did was, because I set up a secret group, so nobody can search that group. So I literally went through the post. I mean, one post had a couple hundred comments on it. Sorry. Just maybe right after this call, we're going to I'm just, sorry, Dad. Sorry. I'm at my parents' house in Oregon, so it's kind of been a little crazy. But so I would click individually on every single person that post, send them a friend request, and then send them a copied message that says, hey, I'm so excited you're interested in joining the group. Just accept my friend request, and I'll get you added to the group. And then I made sure I wrote down their name right away, so I was going through my list. So I did that for every single person that went on that commented on the post, because otherwise they couldn't be added to the group because they couldn't find the group.
Right. Okay.
Did that answer all your questions?
No, yeah. Because I was wondering, I wanted people to hear your process. So you got them to friend you on Facebook, and then you could add them to the group, which is great. So they're already, a new Facebook friend of yours right there. And that's such a good tip about how to kind of make sure people are put at ease that you're not going to be advertising anything in the group. Like, this isn't a space to advertise your business, it's just a space to unite people towards a common goal. So
I did have one person comment back on the Camrose Mommies page, like not on my post, on a separate post, was like, what's this fitness challenge about? Is someone trying to sell us something? And so I immediately contacted the administrator of that page and was like, hey, I'm running this post in this challenge group. This is who I am. Yes, I do network marketing, but I can assure you, like I said, same type of thing. I said, It's not about this. Okay, awesome. No problem. She was really nice about it.
That's good. That's great. Good tip. So for just the separate spin on it, so Kelly, who you did a non-challenge based group, how did you advertise that group, like your autism group? Like, how did you grow that group? If you're not advertising a challenge, did you just like hop on a mommy group and just say, hey, I'm going to open this up for people? Or like, how did that come about?
Well, the sensory processing group, which Darla can attest to, is like 10,000 people or something. So I had found that group and I loved it, but I was noticing, our kids are all at different stages. And so I just posted once on there. I hadn't even made the group. I just like, would anybody want to join in a group where it's specific to our boys and what they're going through? And they just went from there. That one's a closed group. I didn't make it secret. This was before I'd even thought of this. I just was looking for some clarity for myself. So that one's a closed group. So I will get random requests because people can search for that and find it or recommend it or share it. So it's just kind of organically grown from there. So that one is how I got all of those. It's just that one.
That's great. And I'm sure it'll keep growing. And so kind of moving on a little bit. So Kelly, how does your non-challenge based group run as for contributing content? You said earlier, everyone just contributes content and kind of questions.
People post questions. I post a lot of questions. I just posted one tonight, just a simple one for engagement. So most of the time it's me posting, and a lot of times it's just questions that I have about my son and like, what are you guys doing with this and this? And, I need a sippy cup that this kid can't chew through in, a minute. So it's just like, and other moms are doing the same. So I haven't made too many friends out of that one yet. I've kept it I've tried not to do that in that group and just keep it supportive, but I have done some friend requests from there and I've made some good friends, and I've had a few. I was trying to count them. I think like 5 have joined me as customers or ambassadors from that one. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like Noelle with the challenge-based group that you started. So talk about how you created the content for that and how that ran, because that's very different from something that's, not a challenge-based group.
Yeah. So I like to use the term keep it simple, stupid, because I don't like things that are really challenging and have lots of content because I just get overwhelmed by, especially when we're doing Plexus work and we have all these different groups that we're in, like to add something more to my plate just was not something I was capable of. So I kept the content really simple, and I made one post a day that just said what they needed to do. And I just asked them to comment done at the end of that day. And, like we talk about this a lot, Kelly and I, we really dislike collages. And so, we're all adults, so I think people should be able to just say done, and that counts as their word, right? It's their own conscience. If they're lying about it, whatever, it's clearly going to show when they get to 200 squats and they don't know how to do 200 squats. But so I made it simple. They just had a comment done at the end of their post. I scheduled the posts for each day. I made the post ahead of time in Word Swag, clicked a cute background that I liked. Wrote day 1. And then for the challenge, I had a couple girls that wanted it early in the morning. So I'd schedule it for around 10 o'clock the night before. So it would go out. And I did just a live after I started in the very beginning, explaining what I was going to do. So that's the only time I went live, was the very beginning, and just said, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm expecting. There's one pinned post of how to do a squat and one pinned post on how to do a plank. And if you have any questions, message me because I would love to answer them. I will say, though, that if you're going to do a fitness challenge, 60 days is too long. You're going to lose your people. So don't do more than 30. If you're thinking fitness is for you, 30 is a really good number.
That's a good tip. And I love that you went live. I know it's always more impactful for people to see your face and hear your voice and all of that. So I think that's a really good tip, to go live and let people hear, the passion behind your voice. And this is what we're excited about. This is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to go. And, the pin post with all the, rules and some prep work done, behind the scenes. And so Kelly, was that similar to your gratitude challenge? Did you do like a daily graphic that you scheduled beforehand? How did that run for you?
Yep, almost identical. I did it 60 days too, which people didn't really burn out on the gratitude challenge as bad. So we made it 60 days and it was pretty good, but I got burned out. But it's a good thing, but you got to make the graphics and post it, and it turned out to be a lot. So I agree with that. But yeah, just Word Swag, make them all in advance. And now that you can schedule in groups is awesome. And then just making sure you go back and comment. But I did identical, did a live to say what's going on. And then yeah, just a daily post, get it done. The gratitude one was my favorite by far. I mean, planks and squats are great, but people are just commenting done. The gratitude one, like you're saying, you're actually getting to hear what they're grateful for or how their day went. I just love that one. I felt like those people that were in it, and I only had 28 in that one. So, but the people that did that one, I feel like such a bigger and better connection to, but you don't get the planks and squats people come flooding to because they all agree they need to do more for exercise. So,
right.
Yeah, in terms of people, just that simple physical exercise one really took off. I think I have 99 in that group. Yeah.
Great.
It's a little better for me.
Yeah. So talking about,
I've recycled.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit, recycling groups, but I'm glad you said that. But so as for like group sizes, how do you feel now? How many people? You said you've already had 5 people join you from, what did you say? Was that the autism group? You had 5 people join you so far, Kelly, from that group about something. So
I've done the other challenge. So.
Right, they're doing the other challenges too. So yeah, like Noelle, how many people, or do you think that you're getting a good kind of turnaround? Because you did that group beginning of the year, right? Of this year. So it's now September.
Yeah. So I've ran the challenge 4 times. This is the 4th time now that we're doing the mind body, the 21-day one. Mm-hmm. So 4 times. So the first one was a 60-day challenge, and then I did a 30-day squat and push-up challenge, and then I did another 30-day that I also did a prize with, which I did do a prize for the first. And then we're doing, yeah. Sorry, what was your question?
I said, what kind of prize did you give, just to give people ideas?
I did a $50 Lululemon gift card because it was fitness. And then I also included, the girl that won, I also included a water bottle and 3 sticks of Slim, and she's going to be ordering next month. So
that's awesome. That's exciting. Yeah. What a good idea. That is great. So yeah. So you've recycled the group, and then, so do you feel like you've gotten a lot of customers and ambassadors, or at least relationships that are interested in that side of it?
Yeah, I probably have at least 15 ambassadors and customers, at least. Like, I would say the majority of my new growth on my team, my personal sponsors are coming from those types of people. And pretty regularly am I reaching out. I'm getting close to tapping out that list. But at this point, I started more this summer of really reaching out to everybody on that list because they've been in the group for 6 months. And I'm like, it's an okay time to now, reach out to them. Typically have the same message to every single one, depending on when I was Facebook stalking them, if I thought they would be a better wholesale customer ambassador, or if I wanted them for the business. And I just said, hey, I can tell that you're passionate. I love following your journey. I can tell you're passionate about life and health. And I was wondering if you've ever heard of Plexus or tried it before. And quite a few people don't respond. And then quite a few people do. So
that's great though. I mean, and you can see that these relationships are ones that develop over time, but it's like you've created this captive audience all at once from these people that were not even in your network at all before. And you've basically moved them into your warm market, and they watch you pour into them. They watch you care about them making themselves better, right? And so they see the value in that relationship, and they start to kind of watch your Facebook feed on the sidelines as well and get to know you more and see the value in that. So that is fantastic. I love that so many people have joined you, and all of those things. I think it's fantastic. It's a perfect example of doing something very simple, and you have some tips now about, don't do 60 days, do 30, and now you're doing a 21-day challenge. So making it a little shorter and reusing the group over time so people can grow and grow and grow in that relationship. So do you find that you just keep adding more and more people to that group every time you reuse it? Do you think that every time, where do you re-advertise in the same places? And Kelly, you can
Yeah, sorry, Kelly, not to like
Okay.
take all your. Kelly
You're
knows I
better
love to.
at it. You do.
I have advertised in the same group, and typically you get different people, like in the same 2 groups. But I also advertised in a couple other groups, and just I messaged the administrators, same type of thing, and I've gotten the okay. Like I did that for the last one, and I probably had about. I didn't push it as hard, but I probably had about 15 new ads, so new friend requests where I added them into the group, which was great. There was something I was going to say. Go ahead, Kelly. I'll remember it.
I feel like I've written down more notes. I made a lot of mistakes. So I'm learning a little bit about, because I just got kicked out of a group when I did this last one. So I think the private message thing I need to do, the administrator thing I need to do. But I seem to advertise in the same groups. I need to do better planning ahead, because I always feel like I give myself like a day or 2 days. Like I'm starting this tomorrow. It's not enough time to get everyone in and properly message them and maybe post in a few more places. I'm in a ton of groups, so I need to branch out, but I always feel like I get overwhelmed and it's too late. So that's something I should do a better job of. I don't remember what your question was either. So
That's fine. No, I was going to just end because I think we covered a lot of the bases, but I was just going to ask, like, what advice could you give people? And you're kind of covering it. So obviously it seems like the short and sweet challenges work well. The 21-day one, you're down to 3 weeks, in doing that. And that seems to be working really well. You're reusing same groups and adding more people to it every time. And you're growing your network that way and advertising in, Facebook, Instagram, moms groups, local interest groups you might already be a part of. And if you're not a part of local interest groups, find some that might be around passions that you already have an interest in that maybe are larger than one that you're going to be creating, obviously, like Kelly was saying. If you're a part of an autism group that's got 10,000 people in it and you're like, hey, I want something more specific, you can create one, and you might open these floodgates and you'll be so surprised that hundreds of people might come flocking to you because they're looking for something that's the same as that. And you can do a challenge in there, or you can have it be a community-based group where you can have everyone kind of contributing content because you're creating this community, or you can be working towards a common goal. But I think the prep work is really important. To not, think you're going to do a bunch of challenge posts like the day before you're going to start your challenge. If it's going to be a 21-day thing, prep it, a week or 2 in advance and schedule them all, but make it super simple. Like you said, I think that's a really good tip. And people are adults. They're on their honor to complete the challenge. It's not like you need to make it difficult on people, or else you're probably going to lose them. They're going to be dropping like flies. That's a good tip as well. And going live is a great tip, because having them see your face and hear from you. And do you think that it would be helpful for people to give like a status update live in the middle of a challenge, or is a shorter challenge not really warrant that because it's only 3 weeks long or whatever, or a weekly live maybe to check in, or I don't know. That's just an idea. But
yeah, I don't think that could hurt at all. Like, I mean, the more they see your face, the more they get to know you. And like, that's one other thing I was gonna say is like, when I first started that 60-day challenge, all those people became my friends. So they started seeing my Facebook posts. And I remember I did that Facebook post that was put out with all the sticks of Slim and all the things that you like, they had the little sticky note on each little stick of Slim. I'm sure you guys have seen that picture going around. Mm-hmm. And I can't even tell you how many people commented on that post saying, I have how many of these? And I messaged each one of them. They were all new people too that I like had just seen my posts. And I would say probably 90% of them didn't jump in right then and there. But over time, I started following up with them because I knew that they were interested from the beginning. And that's where the relationship built. I knew from the beginning they already had an interest in Plexus. So I had the ability to come back to them each time and say, hey, can I tell you a little bit more? Hey, can I, share this online event with you type of thing? And the majority of those people have jumped in or are at least wanting more info.
That's great. And yeah, because these people weren't coming to you for Plexus in the beginning. but you've had to form those relationships over time, and then you'll see them jump in, and yeah, they might take a little bit more work and a little more follow-up, because they just come to grow to know you over time. But I think those relationships, in my opinion, are even stronger because they have even more belief in you as a leader, as a trustworthy person, as somebody who can bring value to their life and lead them to a more positive place, wherever that may be, help them meet their goals, things like that. So that's fantastic advice. So I don't know if Kelly or Noelle, do you want to chime in with anything else before I kind of close this out? Some advice you might give somebody who wants to start one of these groups?
If you didn't see in the chat that Heidi said she did prizes too. I've never done prizes, so that was kind of good little tip too. Keeps them active and participating, because yeah, they do fall off when they get to be the plank is too long, or squats, they miss a day of squats and they want to just tap out. This is kind of a good idea.
Yeah, and she says day 15 and day 30. So if you're doing a 3-day challenge, you're like halfway. And then at the end, that's great to keep people going. Prizes are a great motivator, especially if you know the amount of prospects that are going to be coming out of this challenge. You can really see it as a really beneficial thing that's worth the investment. I think that's a really good thing. Well, great. Well, really the goal is to bring seemingly unrelated people and content together, to bring everyone together under a common goal, so that you're uniting these people, so that they have more faith in you to get to know you better. Because once they start, friend requesting you and watching your Facebook feed, they will come to trust you and see the value in that relationship. And later on, when you do decide to approach them about Plexus, it's not totally out of the blue and somebody you have no relationship with, and they might feel more confident in reaching out to you about Plexus as well. So that is it for tonight. I hope you found this helpful. I hope that everyone's getting to thinking about what kind of groups they want to run, but I won't take up too much more of your time. And I guess I'll close it out. Thanks, Kelly and Noelle, for all of your advice. You guys are awesome. And I know your 21-day challenge is rocking over there. So everybody, have a good night. Bye.